If you were to ask any boy, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, where do you want to be when you're 25, 30? Where do you want to be? They're going to say, big house, fast car, beautiful wife. That's what they're going to say. Every single one. And slowly, the programming of the Matrix beats this dream out of men.
This one's really important. You need to clean everything in your life. And I'm not telling you to clean your act up. I'm going to simply state to you why keeping everything in your life clean is going to make your life substantially easier. You want a cheat code? This is it. Wear clean clothes. Take a shower. I joke all the time. I tell guys, I say, look, man, if you want to be in the probably 85 percentile of men, take a shower and have a job. It's not that hard. Brush your teeth, brush your hair, wash your hair. And then when it comes to your home, vehicle, and anything to do with you, keep it clean. No girl wants to come to your house and sit in the bathroom and your underwear's on the floor, there's toothpaste everywhere. She feels like she's in a frat house. And let me tell you something about a woman. It's about how you make her feel. It's about how you make any person feel. And if she feels like she's in a frat house, then it feels like she's a whore. And as far as your day-to-day, how you dress and you groom yourself, it's going to be substantially easier to get the respect of men and people in your workspace and get a job and be promoted if you treat yourself with that kind of respect. It's a direct reflection of the love that you have for yourself. So it's very, very, very important that you keep yourself clean. You keep your house, your room, your common space, your kitchen clean. You keep your vehicle clean, because perception is absolute reality. And it's how you make people feel when they're around you and around your spaces. Don't mess this up. It's one of the easiest things you can do in life to get ahead. And I genuinely believe that.
You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you need to curate your reality. I think the biggest problem with young people today is that they don't curate their realities heavily enough. The people that they want to spend most time with aren't adding any value to their lives, and then they end up wondering why they don't get anywhere.
When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. The 5 people you spend the most time with, that's what you're gonna end up like. They say, yeah, that's true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, etc., etc. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever. But I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. If you were to come hang out with me and you were in a room with me and my 5 friends, you'd feel self-conscious.
You're right.
You don't feel self-conscious with your friends. If you were to come hang around with me and my crew, you would be self-conscious, and that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. If you were to get in a room and you're the only person who ain't a fucking monster, you'd want to become a monster.
So hang around better people. You know, if you're wasting your life, if you're wasting your talents, leave that group of friends. Cut low quality people out of your life, and slowly, as you go out into the world and apply yourself at different things that are more useful, you'll probably find out that you're not as useless
and
as
so
you think.
The reason I say that nobody's coming to save you, and I say it so loudly and almost in a way like I don't even care, is because I really feel like we've told young men that if they try hard, if they will get their feelings hurt, otherwise it's all going to be okay. It is not going to be fucking okay. Yeah. It is not going to be okay, bro. You can try your best. You can do as best. You can work as hard as you want. If you do not create results, you are going to fucking fail, and it's going to hurt. Yeah. It's going to hurt bad. And don't let me be the one to love you passively. F you, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming. So I'm a big believer in the best day of your life is the day where you can really accept and realize that and smile because you know you want the ball in your court.
Yes.
If it's game 7 in your life and you're not Michael and you don't want to act like Michael Jordan, if you're not, no, give me the fucking rock. It's mine. Sorry.
Of course it's mine. Yeah.
It's my ball. I'm shooting the fucking ball. Nobody's shooting the ball for me. I want the ball in my court. Give me the fucking rock. If you don't feel that way, you need to go see the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Have a long conversation, identify whatever weakness that might, whatever fear that is, because nobody's going to fix it for you, because I don't have time to give a fuck. I simply have time to tell you, little brother, that I want to see you win, but until you look at the world through this lens, you will fail.
Yeah.
You will fail or get lucky, and get lucky long enough to fail big. Because a lot of times, guys, let's say you start a business and you start and you just somehow, some way, boom, let's say it's an internet business, and you think you're Captain 22-year-old CEO, but you've never been through any struggle in your life, and you go to invest in deal B and it's in a different industry and you get fucking wrecked. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming.
Yeah.
I think everybody on the planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You have to build who you are. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan just for my stupid ass to be born. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are fucking losers.
I will tell you a story about me. I don't know, you're probably not old enough, but there was a game called, before Fortnite, before it all existed, the huge game when I was in my late teens, early 20s was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So I used to play that game. And this is the advice. The advice is hang around with people who see things, people who have a good mindset. I was with my brother and I was like, oh, Andrew, I just completed this round. It's 41 kills, 1 death. That's pretty cool. Andrew looks at me from the couch. I swear to God, looks over me and goes, yeah, Tristan, but it doesn't matter, does it? And I fuck, it doesn't matter, does it? And I turned that game off. And I don't think I've ever spent more than 10 minutes playing a video game ever since that day.
Let's talk about the 4 Fs. Okay? Because this is kind of like your philosophy on like how to be a successful man in life.
Yeah, and look, I don't think it's anything new.
No, it's nothing new, but I just like the way you phrase it.
Yeah, so I say, there's a 4 Fs. There's fitness, finance, fighting, and f***ing. If you can get that shit down, you're gonna have a smooth ass life, bro.
Yep.
I've pretty much lived my adult life with those things in mind. I feel like it could be argued when it comes to the fighting, but I think fitness is first.
Right.
I think that actual fighting is very primal. Explosive strength matters. Athletic, things like that. But I do think fitness first, and then it's kind of how you want to deal with those last 3, because the first one with fitness goes into all of them. I think they're very close, but
the discipline from fitness allows you to have discipline in everything else.
And everything else, because you have to go through physical pain.
Yeah.
I'd probably go, you could say fighting, finance, but I could see you switching that out and making a great point for any.
I mean, I switched that up.
I would put fighting last, just because if you have all those other things in order, your game, and because when I say fighting, I mean, of course, literally, but also like, in general, just your overall experience and your interaction with women in general. I think it's very important. So if you have those other things in line, those the last one becomes substantially easier. It's just the middle two that I think you could make an argument fighting and body language, like having body language when you know how to protect yourself, so you're not small. But also I think finance can handle a lot of things as well. So
guys will carry them, like a guy who has like a lot of money in the bank carries himself a certain way, and
Absolutely.
So does a guy who can beat the crap out of you.
Right.
He also carries himself a certain way.
I think that both of them are kind of lopsided though, because I've met fighters, and a lot of times that's where the true fighters are. And a lot of times all the fighters I've known, they're generally really, really, really broke. And then I say this a lot, is I absolutely would not trade places with Zuck.
Yeah.
You can be as rich as you want. If you're a fucking dork, it's worthless, So,
because those are things you can work on. If you're fat or if you're a dork or whatever it is, like it's not like you are resigned to that fate. That's the consequence of a lifetime's worth of actions or inaction, more importantly, and not working on different areas of your life. You have the choice to be amazing.
You absolutely have a choice.
Yeah.
Your value can actually be built. Dude, one of the best compliments I've ever gotten is a girl told me recently. She goes, 2 things. As a man, I think you get better looking every year. And as a man, I think you become a better man every year.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely an option for any man.
If you are working on yourself.
Right.
If you're not, then it goes the complete opposite way.
And that comes down to the voices in your head, man. I always say that every person, but every man has two voices. He's got a bitch voice and a grown-ass man voice.
Yeah.
And the more that grown-ass man voice can say, shut the fuck up, go to the gym anyway, do it anyway, the smaller that bitch voice gets, almost to the point where it drowns him out. To me, I really think about it in that way. It's like I got these two conflicting voices, but my spirit, who I am as a man, is actually that strong voice. And I'm about to beat that other part of me into submission.
Yep.
And that's how I look at it, man. And it's got to be that way, because if it's not, you start letting shit slide. And I don't think discipline is actually a straight line, but I do think it's more of a, here's the line and here's how far I'm willing to get away from it. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't have that conversation with yourself and you don't trust yourself to do it, you are in trouble. You are. Unless you're superhuman, I think all of us have things that happen, like big thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't make you a bitch. It makes you a bitch if you ignore the voice that's telling you what you should do.
Yeah. It makes you, if
Right.
you listen to the thoughts and actually and like do what they're telling you to do.
Right.
That's what makes you, it's like your actions are what make
Right.
you.
And that's fucking quicksand.
Because the thing, like, you can control your actions. Because people think that a lot of people kind of associate themselves with their thoughts. They think they are their thoughts.
Yeah.
And this is wrong. Because if you were your thoughts, then who the fuck is the one listening to the thoughts?
Right.
You're the one listening to the goddamn thoughts.
Right.
The thoughts are just these things that pop up in your brain from time to time.
Right.
We're not talking about, I'm obviously not talking about like deliberate conscious thoughts, like what's 1 + 1 = whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking like this shit that creeps in your mind, like these doubting voices, or these like, man the fuck up and get this kind of voice. Right?
And yo, man.
Like, you aren't either of them.
No.
You're the sum of the actions that you take.
You're in the center of them commentating the situation. though. You need to shut up. Let's go.
And being a gentleman is very, very important. There doesn't have to be a winner. When you're going on a date with a woman and you're looking to sleep with her and she's looking to have a good time, you could both go home happy. Right. You really can. You don't have to feel like you defeated her somehow or you tricked her somehow, and she doesn't need to feel like she used you somehow. Right. You can have a wonderful evening. You're nice to her. You open the car doors. You know, you buy her a bouquet of flowers. You have dinner. You make love. You go home. She's happy. You're happy. It's down to you. It's personal accountability. And that's what a lot of guys want to throw out the window these days. It's like failing in every business you've ever attempted and failing to make money, and then blaming capitalism, or failing in every boxing match or every American football game and NFL game you've ever played, and blaming the referees or blaming the rules. No, it's personal accountability and it's personal responsibility. So I think a lot of these guys need to really, really look in the mirror, as I do. And sometimes I look at myself and think, Tristan, okay, you're a little out of shape. Tristan, okay, you know, you've been sleeping too much, you've been partying too hard, you got bags under your eyes, you're letting yourself go a bit, and you have to keep yourself in check. You have to stay at the very top, and if you don't stay at your very top, you're not competitive anymore. Every single species on the whole planet is exactly the same. Every single female of every single species looks at the most competitive males and thinks, those are the ones I want to have my children. And women, human women, are exactly the same. So if you're not having the success with women that you want, don't go out there trying to blame women, and don't go out there trying to change women. And what people don't want to hear is that to become Tristan Tate was a slow process of hard work that took me 15 years. And I'm still working on myself. I think the Tristan Tate in 3 or 4 years is going to be a much better version of who I am now. Right. And what a lot of people want to do is, blame their circumstances, but they don't understand that. I mean, height aside, you could change every circumstance about you. You could change how handsome you are. You could change how fit you are, how strong you are, how rich you are, how smart you are.
You should walk through earth with force inside of you. As I walked into this hotel reception, everybody looked. Not because they know who I am, but because as I move, even if it's behind their head, people feel something. It's an energy that comes from brutal competence. That's what happens when a predator walks in a room. You pay attention next time you're in a restaurant. If a man who's truly dangerous walks in, nearly every other man kind of looks up at the same time. You feel it. You need to, or you don't survive. We've evolved with that to live. That's who I am. I couldn't imagine not being that man. I've done that because I've been trying to prove myself to my lineage my entire life. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I wake up and think, fuck, more. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion. Fighting the Matrix out here by myself, more. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything. But kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a fucking loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it to anyone. I can be checked at any time.
Listen, do whatever you want as far as college, but let's talk about following your passion.
Sure.
Following your passion is absolute bullshit because look at it like this. I like to work out. But if I thought that because I like to work out that I'm going to go be a personal trainer and then end up spotting people all day, I've lost my fucking mind. So I found something. The way you find passion is that you go through pain in something so much that you become competent. And once you become competent, you get to walk in a room and help people in a real way when they otherwise would not have been able to do it. Then you become passionate. So you go through pain to get to competence, and then you find passion and fulfillment in being able to help someone do something they otherwise could not have if you would not have suffered through that pain.
But most people do it the other way. They start with the passion, and then and then they end up like trying to start an OnlyFans management agency with no experience or whatever, or they're selling Bitcoin and they have no idea what they're talking about.
And they fail. And
Yeah.
I think that's another really, outside of not understanding how businesses run and having entrepreneurial seizures and not understanding systems, etc. I think that's another reason businesses fail. Is because they start off with this pie in the sky idea of something they think they like to do, and then they realize that actual thing they like to do is only 1x in an overall formula that actually makes a successful business. And you could take that X out and put in Y, and most businesses will run pretty well. And so they think they're going to do this one little thing that they think they like to do, et cetera, and then they get burnt out real quick when ARs are too high, accounts payables late, they got people not showing up for work, they haven't built a culture, and they haven't built any systems, and they just get wrecked, overwhelmed, and then it's over. It's over. Well, follow your passion then.
They follow their passion, and then they don't want to, because they don't want to work. That's what they think it is. Now
I never wanted to be a multimillionaire. Andrew once said to me, famously, Tristan, if we could just find a way to make like 50, 100 pounds a day from home, that would alleviate a lot of our problems. Start small, because as you climb the mountain and you reach where you wanted to reach, you realize that there are new mountains to climb. There are new mountains to climb for me right now. And I'm at a level that a lot of people can't even dream of getting to. But you see it. It opens new doors when you accomplish the goals that you're aiming for. And it opens your eyes to what's possible from there. So don't think I want to be a multimillionaire. Think, okay, I want some financial independence. I want to work 20 hours at the fast food store instead of 40, but supplement my income from home. Okay, I've done that. Now I have more free time. Where do I go from here? I've reached that mountain. I've seen what's possible and aimed higher. That's it. So don't think how am I going to become a multimillionaire. Think of your short-term goals. Make sure your mother works less. Buy yourself some nicer clothes, live in a better apartment, and think of how you can make those things happen. And as you go up in value as a man, you'll learn a lot about yourself, and from then you could tackle bigger goals.
And their ancestors who fought fucking saber-toothed tigers or escaped the Mongol hordes or managed to dodge bombs in the Second World War. All the shit they went through just for this fucking cretin to be born. And to look at him, look at who he is, listen to his life story, listen to what he does on a day-to-day basis, and they would feel nothing but fucking shame. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for? That's what they worked so hard for? That's who you are? That's the end of your fucking bloodline? Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Your ancestors will look at most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust. Well, I guarantee even their fucking living relatives, their living parents aren't even proud of them. Like, the fuck? Your own father's ashamed of you. And you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit. It's a fucking shame. If you were to go and look your father in the eye and said, you know what? I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multimillionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. Fuck no. And there's men here who will deny it, right? There's men who will go, no, 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 no. But those are the ones who are most lost. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting. I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
And you must accept it. You must accept it first. Most of these people, what they do is they hang around with other disgusting people, and then they're a little group of disgusting people, and they think, well, I'm not disgusting, everyone's disgusting, and this is normal, and it's normal to be a fucking jerk off. Not in my world, it isn't. It's not normal to be a fucking jerk off in my world.
If you're in a business that is not sexy, let's say steel, hanging steel,
hanging steel in northern Louisiana in the summer. How about that,
bro?
Bro, how about that? How about being a roofer in my homeboy is like a millionaire roofer in Nashville, Tennessee in the summer.
I'm telling you, bro, it's hot. And on a metal roof, it's like working in a frying pan, man.
Yeah,
it's like working in a frying pan. But the point is that the business doesn't need to be sexy. You know, you think that you're going to be passionate about, you're not. But I tell you, you get real fucking passionate when that check hits every week,
for sure.
or you're getting paid and you can live a life that you want. Yeah, you get real passionate about steel buildings in.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So in that regard, I completely stand by that statement, because, you know, you could pick between doing something you think you like and something that makes your life an absolute dream. And you're going to have to go through some pain, but I think that pain's going to be worth it. I wanted to do YouTube for a very
Stop wasting your time. So I was 17. I was working at a fast food restaurant making sandwiches. Now, the internet didn't really exist as such, but looking back on it, it was part of my journey. And I regret nothing because I ended up where I am. So would I even go back and tell myself anything is the question. If I had to, it would be to not burn so much of my time. Let's talk to the 17-year-olds who are listening. You know, do you finish your job, come home, play video games, etc.? That's what I used to do when I was 17 a little bit. What I didn't do is come home and think, okay, let's work on something new. Let's try and build something. Let's start a YouTube channel. Let's start creating content instead of consuming content. I'd tell myself to be a little bit more proactive with my free time and not around so much.
It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything and I am not that yet. They have a chance. The men who go, well, no, actually, I'm fine. They're fucked. They're inside the matrix, fully slave-minded. They're a waste of time. Damn. But if you sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I am wasting my potential. Yes, I can be more than I am. Even if I'm already great, I can be better. As good as I am, I still push myself to the limit every single fucking day. I have every single thing a man could possibly want. I'm still pushing myself. This is your prerogative as a man, but you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. It's my destiny. There are duties that men must fulfill, whether to God or to your bloodline.
I am very fortunate. I don't know what loneliness feels like. And that's something that most men can't say. And it's why me and my brother, when we understood through meeting very good friends of ours who were married for 10 years, felt alone. Ex-military guys who felt that sense of brotherhood and loyalty and companionship in the army, or on their sports team, their college baseball team, their fraternity, their football team, and they lose it. Those are the guys who opened my eyes to how special the relationship I have with my brother is. And that's what I try to tell the world as well. I don't know what loneliness feels like. You know, I was born in a very underprivileged family. I grew up absolutely broke. I didn't have the best, I wasn't dealt the best hand, but there was always an ace up my sleeve. So I don't know what that feels like. I've always had companionship. I've always had someone who had my back, someone to fight with me, someone to work with me in terms of my brother. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the journey to the top for me necessarily was lonely. But let me tell the young men out there, you need to be able to identify low quality friends and cut them off and curate the people around you into a group of winners, a group of men who want to go out there and achieve the same things as you. And the journey to the top not only won't be lonely, but it will be far easier.